I'm AJ Bianco from PodcastPD, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows in the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Coming up on episode 216 of the House of EdTech, we're going to talk about asking for help. I've got a new app from Apple. I'm also going to talk about how to increase your engagement on Twitter. And we're going to talk about how education technology is going to change in 2023. Let's strike up the band. Welcome to the House of EdTech. My name is Chris Nessie. The House of EdTech launched in 2014, giving me the opportunity to speak with teachers, leaders, and creators so you can more effectively integrate technology, strengthen your pedagogy, and have more confidence in your classroom and school so you can make an impact. Get involved with the podcast by visiting my website, chrisnessie.com. Using technology isn't difficult, and this is where it begins. This is the House of EdTech. And for the first time in 2023, I'm back. Welcome aboard. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. If you're a brand new listener, well, hey, this is your first episode. Thank you for making House of EdTech a part of your anytime, anywhere professional development. Here we go. We're looking to complete year number 10 of the House of EdTech podcast. And away we go. We're going to dive into this episode's awesome content. Got a lot of great things I'm going to be talking about today. But first, want to give you a bit of an update that you may have missed if you are not subscribed to Podcast PD. And if you're not subscribed to Podcast PD, but you listen to this show, what are you doing? Come on over and have some fun with me and my buddy, AJ Bianco, who I affectionately call the Podcast Paisano, as we continue Podcast PD. It's going to look a little different here in 2023. It's me and AJ, and we are doing less so we can do more. What does that mean? We're going to be doing one episode per month, and that means you can expect 12 episodes of Podcast PD over the course of this year. We're still going to live stream our episodes. They're going to be live streamed on the last Sunday of the month, and you can find out when that is by going to our website, podcastpd.com. And you can join us live on Sunday night, January, as he pulls up the calendar, Sunday, January 29th, for the next episode of the podcast, where we're going to be talking about new tips for new teachers, or old tips for new teachers. We want to dedicate an episode to helping some new educators. But we want you to join us. So go to podcastpd.com/go, and that'll let you subscribe to the show. And again, if you enjoy me here, you'll probably enjoy Podcast PD because it's me and AJ, and it's not just education technology. We talk about all aspects of education, and I would love for you to check it out. And if you ever thought, oh, well, that's like too much of another podcast, we're only going to make 12 episodes this year, and that'll give you time to catch up on some of our old conversations and see where we take it in the future. And of course, I would like to invite you, if you've got a great tip for a new teacher, send it our way. You can send an email to feedback@podcastpd.com, or if you go to podcastpd.com, you can send us a voicemail, and we'd love to feature it in our show on January 29th. That's my update for Podcast PD. Let's get 2023 rolling here on the House of EdTech. This episode's EdTech Thought is called Ask for Help. Asking for help can be difficult, but it is an important part of being a successful teacher. Here are a few tips that I think will help you feel more comfortable asking for help. Number 1, remember that it is okay to ask for help. Teaching can be challenging, and no one is expected to have all the answers. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it shows that you are committed to improving and doing the best job possible. Number 2, identify the type of help you need. Before you ask for help, think about what you need and why. Are you struggling with a particular lesson plan or instructional strategy? Do you need advice on how to handle a difficult situation with a student, a parent, a colleague? Knowing what you need will make it easier for others to provide the right kind of support. Number 3, choose the right person to ask. Not everyone will be able to provide you the help that you need, so it is important to choose the right person to ask. This might be a colleague who has experience with the issue you're dealing with, or maybe a mentor who can provide guidance and advice. Or maybe you do need to reach out to a school administrator who can provide support, services, and resources. Number 4, be specific and be direct. When you're asking for help, be specific and direct about what you need. This will make it easier for the person you are asking to understand your situation and provide the appropriate support. And my last tip for asking for help, be open to feedback and suggestions. You know, that growth mindset that we talk a lot about in education, you need to have that, especially when you're asking for help. Because when you ask for help, you need to be prepared to listen to feedback and suggestions. Remember that the person you are asking is trying to help you, and their advice and guidance can be valuable. By following these tips, you should feel more comfortable asking for help when you need it. This can help you improve your teaching and improve the support and the success of your students. If you have other tips for asking for help, go to the website, chrisnessy.com, send me a voicemail, send me a written message, and share your tips with me, and I will share them on a future episode of the show. Or tag me on Twitter at Mr. Nessy or at House of EdTech on Instagram. And that's my EdTech thought. For this episode's recommendation, the first of 2023, I want to talk about Apple Freeform. Back in December 2022, like it was so long ago, Apple released a new app called Freeform, which is similar to a digital whiteboard. It allows you to write, draw, add images, and documents to a blank board by yourself or with others. Apple Freeform is available on iOS devices that have 16.2 or iPadOS 16.2 or macOS 13.1. You can pinch to zoom in or out on a board with no limit on how far you can zoom out or in. You can add as much as you want or need to a board. Along the top of the screen, you can find all the available tools, such as the Apple Pencil to draw a board, add a sticky note, or select from over 700 different shapes. You can also add text boxes, links, images, and documents from the Photos or Files app on your device. Or you can even scan a document directly into the app. Freeform allows you to collaborate with friends or colleagues, and you can work on a board together over a FaceTime call. To share a board, users will need to turn on iCloud Sync easy for me to say, for Freeform. Try saying that 3 times fast. If you have the ability to mirror your iPad or iOS device in your classroom or your conference room, this could be a great tool for you and your students. I'll include a link to Apple Freeform in the show notes, which can be found at chrisnessy.com/216, or they are a tap or a swipe away in the app you're listening to this in right now. Check it out and let me know what you think of Apple Freeform. And that's my EdTech recommendation. let's get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. How will education technology change in 2023? I'll be honest, it's difficult to predict exactly how education technology is going to change this year, as the field in education is constantly evolving and new developments are always a step away. There's always something new that's going to be coming over the horizon. However, here are a few trends and predictions that I have assembled that I think are going to impact how education technology might change over the course of 2023. Let's get into it. Number 1, increased use of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Shocker! As technology continues to advance, I think we can expect to see more and more applications of AI and machine learning in education. As we sit here in January 2023, ChatGPT is all the rage. And technologies like this have the potential to revolutionize the way we teach and the way that students learn. They can be used to personalize learning experiences and provide students with tailored instruction that is custom to their individual needs and their abilities. One of the key aspects and benefits of AI in education is the ability to provide personalized feedback and support. With AI-powered systems, educators like you and me can quickly and easily provide students with feedback on their work, help them to identify areas where they need to improve, and provide them with the support they need to succeed. Additionally, artificial intelligence can help educators manage and analyze data, provide valuable insights into student performance, and help us to make data-driven decisions. Another advantage of AI in education is that it can help to create more engaging and interactive learning experiences. For example, with the use of virtual and augmented reality, our students can immerse themselves in interactive simulations and scenarios that will help them to better understand complex concepts. Additionally, AI-powered chatbots can be used to provide students with instant answers to their questions, helping them to stay engaged and motivated. And don't worry, I'm going to have an episode in a few episodes that's going to deal with things like ChatGPT, Canva Docs. We're going to get into all of that. And I know there's a lot of people putting out information now, but I'm doing the work. I am doing some deep digging into this. So that's why you haven't seen or heard really anything from me on these fronts. But it's coming. Oh boy, it's coming. But to go back to this, overall, artificial intelligence and machine learning in education has the potential to transform the way we learn and teach. With its ability to personalize learning, provide personalized feedback and support, and help teachers manage and analyze data, it's an exciting time for education technology. I look forward to seeing how these technologies are going to continue to evolve and impact education systems going forward. Number 2, the continued growth of online and blended learning. The pandemic forced schools and districts to quickly adapt to remote learning, and we have seen significant increases in the use of online and blended learning models. With the closure of physical schools and the need for social distancing, many teachers turned to online platforms and tools to continue teaching and learning. And this trend is going to continue in 2023. As more schools and more districts adopt online and blended learning models, we can expect to see an increase in the development of technology tools, platforms, and the way that these models are supported. EdTech companies will likely continue to create new and innovative tools that will help us as teachers to deliver engaging and effective instruction both remotely and in certain hybrid fashions. We're seeing more schools now talk about and take action on the 4-day school week. That extra day off is going to be used for something. It's not a completely free day. So this is where this is going to come into play. Our online and blended learning models will also provide opportunities for increased flexibility and personalized education. Students can now learn at their own pace and on their own schedule, and educators are going to continue to use technology to provide personalized instruction and support. I do think it's important to note that while the pandemic accelerated the growth of online and blended learning, it also highlighted the need for better connectivity and access to technology for students and teachers. Ensuring that all students have access to the technology they need to participate in online and blended learning will be critical in order to achieve equity in education. Number 3, greater focus on equity and accessibility. As technology continues to evolve in the education space, I believe we can expect to see a greater emphasis on ensuring that all students have access to the technology and resources that they need to succeed. This includes not only providing students with the necessary hardware and the necessary software, but also making sure that the technology is designed to be inclusive and accessible for all learners, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. One area where I think we're likely to see significant focus on equity and accessibility is in the development of technologies and tools that can support students with disabilities. For example, we may see the creation of more assistive technologies that can help students with learning disabilities to better access and engage with course content. I think we can also expect to see a greater focus on providing all students with access to the technology and resources that they need, regardless of their socioeconomic background. This is going to involve efforts to bridge the digital divide, and that's going to provide students in low-income communities with access to the same technology and resources as they move through the years along with their affluent peers. That's why I think it's ridiculous to see districts blocking some tools like ChatGPT. That can level the playing field, but I'm going to get ahead of myself as I'm still doing the work. In order to achieve equity and accessibility in education technology, it's going to be important for educators, it's going to be important for administrators, and the policymakers to work together to ensure that all students can access this technology and the resources that they need. This is going to involve providing more training and more support for teachers to help us effectively integrate technology into our instruction, as well as investing the necessary infrastructure and resources to support technology-enhanced learning. Overall, as EdTech continues to evolve, we can definitely expect to see a greater focus on equity and accessibility. It's not going away because we haven't solved the problem. We're going to be ensuring that all students have access to the technology and resources that they need. Would it be great if it happened overnight? Absolutely. But it's going to take time, and I think we're going to make great strides this year. Number 4, increased use of virtual and augmented reality. Virtual reality and augmented reality technologies have the potential to transform the way we learn. We've been using them for years. It's only going to improve because we're going to be able to provide immersive and interactive learning experiences for students. These technologies will allow our students to explore and interact with virtual worlds, simulations, and real-world environments in ways that are not possible with outdated teaching methods. I think in 2023, we can expect to see more and more schools and educators integrating virtual and augmented reality technologies into their teaching and our students' learning. This technology can be used to create engaging and interactive experiences, and it's going to help students understand complex concepts and retain information. For example, virtual reality can be used to simulate real-world scenarios such as a historical event, a scientific experiment, or a surgical procedure, which will allow students to experience and interact with the subject matter in a way that is just not possible with some of the old-school methods of teaching. Augmented reality can also be used to provide students with real-time feedback and support during their learning. helping them to identify and correct mistakes in their work. We call that growth. Virtual and augmented reality technologies can also help to create more inclusive and accessible learning environments. These technologies can be used to provide students with the visual and auditory support, helping students with disabilities to better access and engage with the material that they're learning. So, where does this all leave us? Where does it leave education? Well, honestly, we are going to find out together over the next 12 months. And I want to hear from you, and I'd love to know what you think will happen or what you're expecting in 2023. Go to chrisnessy.com/voicemail and let me know. I'll share your responses on the show. And if you're listening to this episode well into the future, let me know at this point in time when you're listening how it's going. I want to know. That's the featured content. Now, let's give something a try. Does social media frustrate the heck out of you? Do you put stuff out onto the ether in hopes that people will respond and you just listen to crickets on the internet? Well, let's talk about some ways that we can increase your engagement on Twitter. Number 1, tweet regularly. One of the best ways to increase engagement on Twitter is to tweet regularly. This will help you stay top of mind with your followers and keep your content fresh and relevant. Use hashtags. Hashtags are a great way to make your tweets more discoverable and increase their reach. By using relevant hashtags, you can connect with other users who are interested in the same topics, and you can increase the chances that your tweets will be seen and engaged with. Engage with other people. Remember, Twitter is a social media platform, so it's important to engage with others in order to increase your engagement. This might involve retweeting, commenting, or replying to other users' tweets. By engaging with other people, you can build relationships. You can then increase your chances that your own tweets will be seen and engaged with. Use visuals. Tweets with images, GIFs, videos, they tend to perform better and get more engagement than a text-only tweet. Consider using visuals to make your tweets more eye-catching and engaging. Join me, the Chris Nessy, at Mr. Nessy on Twitter, in making engagement a little less stressful and easy by participating in what I'm calling #EasyChat. These are super easy questions to get you more comfortable responding on Twitter and engaging with other people. And yes, you should definitely go out and consider joining in on some Twitter chats or leveraging something like Twitter Spaces, which takes advantage of audio and real-time communication with other Twitter users. Real easy to do, real easy to just kind of listen, and you can kind of navigate that. But I do encourage you to check out #EasyChat and answer some questions I'm throwing out there, and let's make Twitter social. That's the point. Then we can learn and we can grow and we can improve. But in order to do that, you just got to give it a try. Thank you for listening to this episode of the House of EdTech. I can't believe it's January already. These seem to fly by. And fly by they will continue. But don't worry. If you're not subscribed, or if you're not following, all you have to do is do that. Follow, subscribe, and you can continue to make this podcast a part of your anytime, anywhere professional development for all of 2023. And you know what? You do that, I'm going to throw in all the old episodes too. You can go back and you can have all 215 that already exist. If you want to get the most value out of the House of EdTech, check out the show notes for this episode. You'll find links to all the resources that I mentioned, and this is a great way to deepen your understanding of the topics and take your learning to the next level. Be sure to visit chrisnessy.com/216. I love hearing from my listeners, and I value your feedback and your perspectives. If you have thoughts or questions about a recent episode or any topic related to EdTech, don't be shy. Email me, feedback@chrisnessy.com, or leave me a voicemail at chrisnessy.com/voicemail. Your input helps me create better content and improve the show. So I encourage you to reach out and share your thoughts with me. I can't wait to hear from you. If you know someone who might benefit from listening to the show, please share it with them. You can easily share a link to the podcast on social media or through word of mouth. Your support helps me reach more people and continue to bring you great content. Thank you for helping me spread the word about the House of EdTech. If you want to give back to the show and help me continue to bring you the great content, consider becoming an awesome supporter. I am very thankful for the ongoing support from the following people: Jeff Herb, Peggy George, Dan Gallagher, Matt Miller, Patty Reefus, Kyle Wilcox, Catherine Abdallah, Brian Carpenter, and Aaron Cummings. If you're getting value from the podcast, you can become an awesome supporter by visiting chrisnessy.com/awesome. The next episode of the podcast is going to be episode 217, and the title of that episode is going to be, It's 2023, Do Not Fear EdTech. And that's going to come your way on January 29th, 2023. Also, we're going to be doing Podcast PD that day, so check us out there as well. Until next time, thank you for learning with me, and remember, using technology is not difficult. Just give it a try.